Well, hello and welcome to a special edition of CT Sports Now on the Vantage Sports Network. Here we are. It's time to unveil the New Haven Register All-State team. We're taking the top 12 players from the whole state and putting them on the New Haven Register team. This is Joe Morelli from the New Haven Register. I know you spent hours going through all of the players. This was not an easy task.
Days, weeks, spent my entire March basically working on it in the back of my mind and then to present it here today.
Was this one of the stronger years overall for high school basketball, I think, in the state of Connecticut as far as individual talent?
Yeah, I think so because there's a lot of guys at the top and there's so many. There's not much separating the first and second team. There really isn't because the guys who drop from the first team make the second team. So there's a lot of double-double guys. There's a lot of guys with great stats and a lot of guys going places, but you only can pick 12.
All right, so we'll have 12, including a player of the year, a coach of the year. Let's get started. We're gonna unveil each player in alphabetical order. So showing no preference anywhere, the players in alphabetical order by last name. Let's meet the first member of the New Haven Register All-State team.
Christian Adams, junior at Hill House, and I love my mother's cooking.
Adams is 6'4", but at times plays much bigger. He averaged 12 rebounds a game this past season to go along with his 14 points a game.
Basketball is my life. I love it.
And it shows. He helped lead Hill House to the Double L state title and the SEC championship. In fact, he was named the SEC tournament's most outstanding player.
Every time we go out and put the jerseys on, we put on for New Haven, put on for our families, and for our teams.
Adams has an inside power game, but it's not all just about brawn. He's a thinking man.
When I'm not playing basketball, I like to play chess.
It's Christian Adams, All-State guard forward from Hill House High School.
So I wasn't sure how to list him, a guard or a forward, but he really can play both positions.
He's a swing man. He's a double-double guy in the biggest of games. As you said, the SEC tournament MVP. He played big with 3 straight threes in the final, Class Double L final against East Hartford for back-to-back state championships. He's an integral part of what Hill House does, and he'll be one of the best players in the state next year.
And you bring up position and that he plays. As far as putting this team together, does position matter? Do you just take the top 12 guys and put them on
Position
All-State?
does factor in, Mark, but honestly, it's in the final analysis, it's the top 12.
All right, there you go.
That said, let's meet the second player on the Register All-State team. He happens to be one of Christian Adams' teammates.
My name is Byron Breeland. I go to Hill House High School. I'm a junior. One thing most people don't know about me is that I like watching marine biology.
Byron Breeland, known to his teammates as Trey, says he loves all marine life and gets especially excited about Shark Week. Perhaps that's where he learned to attack the rim the way he does.
My blood starts to boil when I hear the crowd go crazy. I like the limelight.
Breeland averaged over 14 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds a game, helping to lead the Academics to their second straight Double L state championship.
This is my favorite ring because it's my first one. I also got another one in football, but it's something about this ring that I like it the most.
With another year left in high school, he'll have chances to get rings for all his fingers. It's Byron Breeland, All-State guard for Hill House High School.
Here's another guy who could do it all,
Yeah.
right? He's, 6'2", 6'3", but I think he plays a lot bigger than that.
Well, as you can see and by the highlights, he finishes at the rim with anybody in the state of Connecticut. Tyler Douglas and company were able to find him. But I think next year he's going to need to do more double-double stuff like he did as a sophomore. He really came into everybody's view. And he's getting looks away from Division I schools, and I'm sure he'll get more as the time goes on.
I think he needs to pick a school close to the ocean, right? So he can continue
Well,
on with marine
I mean,
biology.
anywhere
Close to deal with. So.
and anywhere in this state would be fine, I'm
There you
sure.
go.
I'm sure they'd all be interested.
There you
A
go.
kid like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, so we're going to move on. So we've had 2 kids from Hill House, and again, it didn't position factors in, but school does not, obviously, and just the best players in the state, part of this 12-man team. And I guess now it's time to look at our third member of the All-State squad.
My name is Isaiah Gator, junior, go to Sacred Heart, and one thing I like is doing volunteer work and feeding the homeless.
Isaiah Gator helped lead the Hearts to the Class L state championship and the only undefeated record in the state.
If I wasn't playing basketball, I would be a doctor.
He was able to find a cure for the team when it lost another New Haven Register All-State player to injury right before the playoffs started.
I'm most proud of my team is because they play hard and they never gave up when people doubted us.
He averaged 16.5 points and over 7 rebounds a game this season. Isaiah Gator, All-State guard from Sacred Heart High School.
One thing I love about Isaiah Gator's game is his unselfishness. Here's a guy who probably could have had much higher point totals. That team in general just shared the ball really well.
Well, he was the man at Platt the year before, and he transfers to Sacred Heart, where a team that's coming off this incredible back-to-back state champ, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And now he's a part of a team where Raheem Solomon's the man. And then Raheem Solomon goes down in the state tournament, and he basically picks up a lot of the integral parts of what he had to do, scoring. He had 24 in the finals against Notre Dame of Fairfield, Class L. So he's a guy who could do a lot of different things, and you need to do different things to be able to make this team.
All right.
Very opportunistic, I thought, at both ends of the floor. Plays very solid defense as well.
He's a fun player to watch.
He doesn't change expression. He's that kind of guy you can count on. He's smooth, and I mean, like I said, he fit in seamlessly to what they were doing at Sacred Heart. It's not that easy to do.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's meet the next member of the New Haven Register All-State team.
I'm Patrick Harding, Fairfield Prep senior, and one of my favorite shows is Gossip Girl.
Well, there's certainly plenty to talk about when it comes to his game. Scored over 1,000 points in his career at Fairfield Prep. Despite missing several games with a shoulder injury, he still helped lead the Jesuits to the quarterfinals of this year's Double L tournament. He averaged nearly 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. And he's certainly not above trash talking to gain an advantage.
Well, it depends on the kid you're playing against, because some people are mental like midgets, as we like to say. So just their game's over before the game starts.
Patrick Harding, All-State forward from Fairfield Prep.
I can't spin it.
He may not be able to spin it, but he could score it and he could rebound
little
it. He was
swag
a force.
to that talk there. But he's kind of an old school, and that's kind of coming back now. We're starting to see the bigs that are more post players, and he's kind of one of them, right?
A true double-double guy every time on the floor. I mean, they missed his presence when he was out with injury. But he could also step out and shoot the three, which is unique for a guy 6'8". Let's put it this way. There are very few guys in the state who's had as much success against Hillhouse as Patrick Harding has.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, he goes out with a winning record. I don't think anybody else outside of Prep has that. So that says a lot.
Speaking of Hillhouse, it's time to meet our next member of the New Haven Register All-State team, another Hillhouse guy.
I'm Joseph Casper, Zack, senior, Hillhouse guard, and I don't like to get haircuts.
How good is he? Well, he makes the All-State team despite missing 9 games with a wrist injury this year.
I just don't like losing, so I just go out every game, play it like it's my last, play my hardest.
Casper Zack averaged 18 points, 5 steals, and 5 assists a game this season while reaching over 1,000 points for his career at Hillhouse. Many of those points scored in thrilling fashion.
When I dunk, it's really for the crowd. Once I hear the crowd start cheering, it just get my adrenaline pumping and just make me go even harder.
Joseph Casper Zack, All-State guard from Hillhouse High School.
Says he dunked for the first time in 8th grade, so he's been dunking for a long time now.
I've seen plenty of dunks over the course of his career. The kid's been tremendous. I mean, he's missed time again for injury over the course of the last 2 years, but they are so much better when he's on the court than when he's off of it. It's that simple.
Well, as we move on to our next player, I think it says a lot. We won't give it away yet, but it says a lot to the quality of basketball in one particular city in the state, that city being Waterbury, because they had a tremendous team in Sacred Heart, and now another member of the All-State team right now.
Jeremih Candell from Crosby High School, 6'5", basketball player. I love my mom's pork chops.
All that protein must be doing him right. 6 times Candell went off for 40 or more points in a game. That helped get his average up to 28 per game. He also averaged 14 rebounds and 3 assists while shooting 50%.
If I wasn't playing basketball, I'll probably be in the streets maybe.
Well, thankfully for him and Crosby, he had basketball. Led the Bulldogs to the state playoff quarterfinals. Jeremih Candell, All-State forward from Crosby High School.
You got that?
Yeah.
Kid put up some big-time numbers, Joe.
Like I said, like this piece says, 40 points 6 or more times.
Yeah.
I mean, he was their player, and probably the biggest reason, obviously, that they got where they got to the Class L quarterfinals.
Yeah, again, a lot of talent in the city of Waterbury, a lot of talent in the state. We've seen half of the All-State team being put out by the New Haven Register, and when we come back, the second half of the team, we've also got to talk about our Player of the Year and our Coach of the Year, and it's all coming up next here on CT Sports Now. Bouncing basketball as we come back to the special edition of CT Sports Now here on the Vantage Sports Network. It is the New Haven Register All-State Basketball Show as we unveil the 2017 All-State Basketball squad put together by Joe Morelli from the Register and his outstanding staff. So we've seen half of it, and it's time, I guess, to move on, right?
Let's do it. Let's get right to it. And remember, these are all done in alphabetical order. We're showing no preferences here. I know you get the phone calls. We want to make sure we know the email and the phone calls. This is all about being in alphabetical order. With that said, here's our next member of the New Haven Register All-State team.
My name is J.C. Martin. I'm a senior at Weaver, and I love ESPN.
And perhaps one day you'll be seeing his highlights there. The 5'8" guard from Weaver averaged 18 points a game en route to becoming the school's 4th all-time leading scorer, proving you don't have to be tall to play the game.
Not at all. You just have to have a lot of heart.
Martin also averaged over 6.5 assists, over 4.5 steals, and 4.5 rebounds a game.
Hartford basketball is very competitive. We have a lot of city legends there. I want to be known as one of the best ones there and make it farther than everybody else.
J.C. Martin, all-state guard from Weaver High School.
Outstanding talent. What in your mind puts him, give me one or two intangibles or things that put him on this squad?
Well, you couldn't stop him getting to the basket at 5'8". I mean, he just meant so much to that team, him and his brother Chandler. But he just can score in so many different ways from outside, inside. And he's a leader on that team. I mean, he played in 3 state finals, and East Hartford derailed a 4th straight chance to play in the Double L final. And in the last couple of years, they petitioned to play in Double L, and he played against the best competition in the state, in CCC. He's that kind of player. He really is a good player. In fact, he just missed last year.
Interesting.
All right, with that said, let's move on and it's like one good player, then we meet another really good player. Here he is, our next member of the 2017 New Haven Register All-State Boys Basketball team.
Hi, I'm Mike Maguro. I go to East Catholic High School, and I like the show Vampire Diaries.
He may like vampires, but this 2-time member of the New Haven Register All-State team shines under the bright lights. How about these numbers? Averaged 22 points, 6 assists, and 9 rebounds a game this season.
One other thing that nobody else really knows about me is that I'm into CrossFit training in the off-season.
Maguro is heading off to Manhattan, Kansas to play his college ball at Kansas State. Mike Maguro, all-state forward from East Catholic High School.
You take a look at him, you're surprised that he's into CrossFit? I mean, I don't know if there's any body fat on that kid.
No.
He's in some serious shape.
No, he's tremendous. Like I said, one of the few 2-time All-Staters on this team. Last year, he was the man in the mask, but he made so many big plays for that team to get to the Class L State Championship. And this year, they didn't get to where they want to go. They got stopped by Hill House, which is Hill House does that to they do that to a lot of kids. And listen, they made sure they shut him down and they made him a focal point. So that speaks a lot to why he's on this team as well. If they can hold him down, I mean, if they put that much effort into doing that. And plus, his numbers speak for themselves. And he's going to Kansas State.
Yeah, I think he's one of those that he was tremendous a year ago, got even better in his senior season. So
yeah,
that says a lot.
He does a lot. And in the tournament, besides the Hill House game, he did a lot in the 4th quarter, and he's that kind of player.
All right, let's keep it moving here and meet the next member of the New Haven Register All-State team.
CJ Seaforth from Hampton High School, senior. Besides basketball, I like to eat spaghetti, favorite meal. My dad's spaghetti and my stepmom's spaghetti.
Well, apparently it works. Seaforth was one of the state's most explosive players, averaging nearly 22 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. He scored over 1,000 points in his high school career.
When I'm not playing basketball, I like to hang out with my family, hang out with a couple of friends, especially girls.
Being close to family and friends is part of the reason Seaforth chose to stay close to home and play his college basketball at Iona. CJ Seaforth, all-state guard from Hamden High School.
Listen, out of all the players, he had spinning the basketball on his finger down. He had that down.
Apparently,
so
chicks
smooth.
dig that too.
Apparently, so smooth, this kid.
Well, the thing that's going to get lost in this year for him is that he had to lead a young team against a powerhouse schedule, arguably the best schedule in the state. Notre Dame twice, Hill House twice. Ended up being East Catholic twice, a team that eliminated him in the tournament. I mean, he averaged those numbers against great teams, and he was basically the focal point of opposing defenses, and he was able to get those numbers. He's that kind of player, and I think he's going to follow a long list of kids from the state who are going to do well in the MAC.
Yeah, tremendous scorer. Really kind of the definition of slasher, which is, I think, what you could call our next player from the middle of the state on this all-state squad.
Simmons, senior guard at Newington High School. When I'm older, I want to be a police officer.
Well, he's already a sharpshooter. Simmons ends his 4 years at Newington as the school's all-time leader in three-pointers made, scoring, and assists.
The most proud I am about my basketball is how many buckets I get.
Well, he gets a lot of them. Averaged 21.5 points a game, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. This is his second straight year on the New Haven Register All-State team.
When I'm done playing basketball, I want to coach little kids.
It's Jared Simmons, all-state guard from Newington High School.
Outstanding. Again, one of those pure scoring types, right?
And one of those two-time selections we have on the team this year. I mean, I think a lot of people forgot about him because I think they started the year 0-3, played Notre Dame and played a couple other schools, and they got forgotten about in the CCC. But he's basically all they had coming back this year, and he's able to put up those numbers and become, like I said, the all-time leading scorer. I mean, it says a lot. And again, he's going to end up going to prep school, but he's a tremendous volume kind of scorer, which is, as you see, there's a number of guys on this team.
Hi, I'm Raheem Solomon.
All right, that said, they're getting a jump on us.
Uh-oh.
But
Spoiler alert.
We,
It's okay.
we have
Sorry,
another
Jared.
player, another player to meet. I think we know who it is now, but let him introduce himself again.
Hi, I'm Raheem Solomon from Sacred Heart Junior, and I like to dance.
Raheem Solomon danced his way to 19.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and almost 3 assists per game. His play has already landed the 6'3" junior guard offers from Division I schools, something he knows well from his brother, former Sacred Heart star Mustafa Harun, now playing at Auburn. But Solomon's not worried about the recruiting dance right now. He has other dances on his mind.
I like doing the nay and all that.
Raheem Solomon, all-state guard from Sacred Heart.
So here he goes down right before the playoffs start, right? I guess in the NVL championships, he goes down with the knee injury. Didn't get to play in the state championship tournament, and his team still wins it. But this is a guy who's got basketball in the family.
Absolutely. I said his half-brother is Mustafa Harun. He took the mantle from him and was able to lead this team basically to an undefeated record. Yes, he missed the tournament, but in the NVL tournament, he's playing with a knee injury. They win it again. I mean, the team's won 83 straight games in state competition, and he's the player they're going to have to try and stop next year, and it's going to be really hard for teams to do that.
All right, so we have gone through 11 players on this all-state squad. We still have our player of the year, our coach of the year. So get ready, get set. When we come back, we'll unveil the player and coach of the year next here on CT Sports Now. Welcome back. This is a special edition of CT Sports Now here on the Vantage Sports Network. We continue on with our 2017 New Haven Register All-State Basketball Squad. We've met most of the players, but the top coach in the state, here it is.
What a way to finish the season for John Carroll's Sacred Heart team, undefeated, 28-0 to win the state championship in Class L.
28-0 I didn't have on my radar at all.
And coming into the season, you can understand why. He returned one starter from the previous year, and he lost that player to injury before the state championship tournament even started.
The thing that impresses me most is the resiliency of my kids. They got thrown a couple bad breaks, and they kind of said, okay, they acknowledged it, they moved past it, and kept playing basketball. It was great.
Coach Carroll is quick to credit his players for how they responded to adversity, but kept this team prepared game after game.
You prepare a little better for your practices. You go out and you spend more time, looking at other teams and trying to dig up tape, like you guys. You ask for help. And so everybody worked a little harder, and I'm definitely part of that too.
It's why John Carroll, the head coach at Sacred Heart High School for the last 12 years, is the New Haven Register Coach of the Year.
He got it done despite some adversity, as he mentions. Joe, I know this is a tough decision every year to pick the Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone in several hundred different directions, because you could always acknowledge the guys who are taking them from nothing and getting them into the tournament. Or you could go with the best guys. And there are guys you can go with every single year. What John Carroll did, again, you lose 2 Division I players, 4 starters, and obviously among them Mustafa Harun went to Auburn. And he put the ball in a kid like Raheem Solomon's hands, and he leads the way. So their winning streak since 2014 against in-state competition is what it is. And then he goes down, and you have to readjust your whole thinking and put guys in different positions and still manage to win Class L pretty handily. I think is an impressive accomplishment. Again, they're the only undefeated team, 83 in a row against in-state competition. I know a lot of people knock Sacred Heart for not being in Double L, but you know what? 83 is 83, and he has been a big part of that, and we're honoring the accomplishment of the team as much as we're honoring the person, and he has done a nice job for over the course of this time.
Terrific. Well, listen, I think it would be hard to quarrel with John Carroll as our head coach, as the New Haven Register Coach of the Year. Yep. Time now to meet the Player of the Year. I don't think it's any surprise that it's Notre Dame West Haven's Tremont Waters.
Never the biggest guy on the court, but always the biggest attraction. This was the scene for just about every Notre Dame West Haven basketball game this season, at home or on the road. People lining up to see Tremont Waters, widely considered one of the top college prospects in the country. Listed at 5'11", Waters can get to the rim just as easily as he knocks down long-range shots. He seems to be able to score at will. It's why he averaged over 25 points, 4.5 assists, and 4.5 steals a game, leading the Green Knights to an undefeated regular season. Tremont Waters is the New Haven Register Player of the Year.
Joe, real quickly, because we're running out of time, but this kid was just so smooth with the ball whenever he just ran the show so smoothly.
Yeah, he was very smooth with the ball, without the ball. Even on defense, he was the consummate all-around player, and he meant so much to that program. Best season in Notre Dame's history as far as the regular season goes. And the fact of the matter is, he's just 8 sellouts to my knowledge, most of them on the road. People want to see this kid play, and he performed almost every single time out. Even against Hill House, when they double-teamed him in the SEC championship game, he scored 22. So he was that kind of player. I know they went out earlier than they hoped, but to me, he was the best player of the year, start to finish, and it's the entire body of work. March matters, but when you perform as well as he did, it's the entire body of work.
Just a tremendous player. Want to mention that the New Haven Register and Game Time CT has the All-State second team, third team, honorable mention.
Right.
So go to Game Time Connecticut for that. Thank you. Tremendous job putting all this together, Joe. We appreciate it. I'm sure the state does as well as all the players. We'll see you on the sideline of some game.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
We're out of time. We'll see you all later. Thanks for tuning in.